So we go, and of course I'm a little nervous, but I'm almost as confident as he is because we've been getting it. You know what I'm saying? I've been feeling real good and confident about this, right? So he jumps on his bike and I jump on my bike. Like I said, I don't have a problem starting. You know what I'm saying? My problem was finishing. So we jump on the bikes and we get out the driveway and he sees me like, all right, you doing good? Because I'm like rolling with him. I'm like side by side. Now he's in the street. I'm on the sidewalk. Now when we turn and we going down this hill and I'm starting to pedal, I'm catching a little bit of speed. The hill is really taking me more than anything. And like I said, for the people who know, I used to live right next to a bank. And on the back side of the bank is what I'm facing while I'm going down this hill. And funniest thing ever is like as we're going, he like starts to alert me. He's like, all right, Junior, hit the brakes. And I'm like, all right. And I'm trying it. And I don't know why, but it wasn't going. He's like, yo, hit the brakes. I'm still going. Now I'm getting nervous because like, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the check-in. It's your boy D Money. You know what's up, man. Chilling as always, just vibing, keeping things cool, man. Trying to stay on my grind and just get things done and set more goals. You know what I'm saying? This is what I've been doing, man. Like, honestly, hope you guys been keeping up and hope you guys have not slowed down for nothing. We're about, what is it? January 20 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, for some of you guys, you about to walk into February, which means it's the coldest month of the year for some of you guys. So be careful, you know what I'm saying? Because every year when I used to live in New England, every year around this time, it gets real cold, which means I start to, not be as motivated. You feel me? I start to slow down. I start to not go outside as much. I start to not show up to work as much. I don't go to the gym as much. Like these things, this happens. If you live on the East Coast where it gets real cold in February, be careful, right? We have to approach this year with a whole new attitude. We can't let none of that stuff phase us. You got to keep going. And for the people who are going to struggle with this, it's only because you don't have the necessary things in place that's going to get you to where you need to go, right? Something I used to always ask myself is like, am I in the right vehicle this year that's going to take me to the destination I'm trying to reach, right? That's something you should ask yourself. Are you in the right vehicle, right? Do you have the right people in place around you that's going to keep you motivated and just inspire you to do better, right? Like the job you're working, at right now, is that the right job? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who wake up every day and show up to a job that they don't even like to be at. I really don't understand that. Like, I get it. A lot of times, we're really just chasing the bag. We're chasing the money and we just feel like we can't get nothing else at the time. But that's just an excuse. That's just an excuse that people like to use because they're lazy. They don't want to search for another job. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to look for something else that can be way more valuable to them and how they live the rest of their lives. You feel me? Like, you got to find something better than that. Like, you can't stick around, have to show up at, early meetings when you never want to do that. Now, some jobs got points systems and stuff like that where, your chances of getting fired are high because of the type of person you are. You lazy, you don't like to do things. You put yourself in such a bad environment because you don't even do well in these environments where like you have to stick to a schedule and you got to do this and that. It's like you're working a job and you're trying to survive in a job that you don't even want to be at. Why go through all of that? You feel me? Are you in the right vehicle that's going to get you to the right destination this year? You got to take yourself out of these environments, right? Go look for another job that you're going to be happy at. You know what I'm saying? That like you'll be excited to show up for. You know what I'm saying? There's people that work with kids that love doing that because they always loved kids, right? So they have no problem going to work. They like being at work more than they like being at home sometimes. Like find the right environment and put yourself in it. That's really what you got to do. You literally have to find the right vehicle to get you there, right? So, funny example, the right vehicle for the Philadelphia Eagles is like having the people we have in place that's going to get us to the Super Bowl. I just want to get that off my chest. You know what I'm saying? We got everybody we need. Jalen Hurts is going to do his thing. He going to be driving. You feel me? For the people, I know a bunch of y'all hating already. AJ Brown, come on. We got Smitty. We got everybody. Miles, come on. What are we doing? Like, we have the right vehicle that's going to get us to the right destination. Straight like that. I know y'all was hating. I just had to squeeze that in because we looking real good right now. I ain't gonna lie. Anyways, back to what I was saying, right? Are you in the right vehicle? Focus on that this month, all right? We're about to close out this month. We're gonna walk into February. Figure out if you got the right people around you if you got the right mindset and if you got the right things in place that's going to continue pushing you. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should be thinking about right now. And while you guys are doing these things to make sure that you're in the right vehicle, make sure that, you know, you're looking forward to failing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you guys always look at me crazy when I say stuff like this, but like for me, I'm looking forward to failing. I've mentioned this before. Like, failing is a great thing as long as you're persistent at trying to succeed in whatever that is that you're trying to, you know, go after, right? For me, I understand that there's been a common thing with me in my life where it's like, in order for me to reach success, most times I have to go through failure. I have to fail at certain things and try it again until I learn something that I've been, you know, doing wrong just to succeed. So I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? I have a track record of failing at things in life, but ultimately succeeding at it because I kept at it. You know what I'm saying? I think about when I was like, what was I, like 8 years old or something like that? I might have been like 8 years old. I don't know, give or take. And I remember my brother was trying to teach me how to ride a bike in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know that I used to live like up the street from like this bank and all that, right? My brother would take me every day to the backyard and we would have to practice riding a bike. You feel me? Like, it's not even that I had a problem riding the bike. It's the fact that I struggle with hitting the brakes on time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. It was just one of them things where it's like, I know how to ride the bike. You know, once I kick push and I start pedaling, I was good. But then it was just, my problem was just stopping. I had a problem with that. I don't know. So he would like throw me on one side and he'd be like, all right, I'm going to stand down here. You know, once you start going, when you get to me, hit the brakes. And I would try that. And I failed mad times. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't getting it right. I would hit the brakes. Somehow I felt like it wasn't stopping me. I don't know if there was something wrong with the bike. I'm going to blame the bike. I don't know. But I felt like I was doing it right at that age. I was mad young. So one day comes and he thinks that I'm ready, right? Because we've been going over this. We've been rehearsing everything we need to do. And we feel like we got it this time, right? So with the bank that is like next door, but just a little down the hill, he wanted me to kind of ride with him. So now he's not standing at the end waiting for me, you know, to protect me just in case I run into him. He can like stop me, right? Now he's like, no, you good. I feel like you can ride freely and you know how to hit the brakes now. So we go, and of course I'm a little nervous, but I'm almost as confident as he is because we've been getting it. You know what I'm saying? I've been feeling real good and confident about this, right? So he jumps on his bike and I jump on my bike. Like I said, I don't have a problem starting. You know what I'm saying? My problem was finishing. So we jump on the bikes and we get out the driveway and he sees me like, all right, you doing good? Because I'm like rolling with him. I'm like side by side. Now he's in the street. I'm on the sidewalk. Now when we turn and we going down this hill and I'm starting to pedal, I'm catching a little bit of speed. The hill is really taking me more than anything. And like I said, for the people who know, I used to live right next to a bank. And on the back side of the bank is what I'm facing while I'm going down this hill. And funniest thing ever is like, as we're going, he like starts to alert me. He's like, all right, Junior, hit the brakes. And I'm like, all right. And I'm trying. And I don't know why, but it wasn't going. He's like, yo, hit the brakes. I'm still going. I'm like, now I'm getting nervous because like, yo, it's a hill. I can't stop. There's like a main road in front. I'm like, yo, this is going to turn out ugly. So I was smart though in this situation because I'm like, I can keep going on the sidewalk into the main road, or I can try to turn in this bank, you know, parking lot, you know, that way to just save myself and give me more time. So as he's yelling at me to brake, I'm trying. Somehow it's not working. I'm like forgetting how to do things, and I still turn. I turn into the parking lot, but I don't turn all the way. So what ends up happening is I end up kissing the wall, man, right in the back of the bank. My face was like straight up flat. You know what I'm saying? You ever watch like cartoons and you see when they hit something, or like the Road Runner when he's chasing, you know what I'm saying? And he just ends up hitting a rock or something. He just laid off. That was me. My face was all over the wall. I done kissed that bank, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, people looking at me crazy. I felt embarrassed and my face was hurting. It was bad. But the next day we did the same thing and I ended up getting it. You know what I'm saying? And then the next day I kept going out. Now I don't even need him with me, and I started riding and I ended up doing my thing out there. And 8, 9 years old, I was good. He didn't have to teach me no more. You feel me? But it was a rough experience. I had to fail until I got it, right? So like another example is like me staying back in 9th grade, right? Like a lot of people didn't know this because, you know, I was 09 at heart. I ended up graduating in 2010, but it's like math was an issue in 9th grade, plus skipping school and acting crazy. But math mainly is what held me back, right? Even went to summer school and still failed, which is crazy, right? Like my mom paid for me to go to summer school for math. And when I went, like I did everything right. But then, when it was test time, the test had every question on that I did not practice. And I was mad about that. Anyways, failed 9th grade, right? 10th grade comes, I end up passing, but I'm like, I was still struggling with math. Math was always an issue because they were trying to explain pi to me and all these other nonsense to me. And I didn't want to hear it, didn't understand it, didn't want to understand it because I didn't think it made any sense for me to carry this information on in life. You feel me? I was just one of those people thinking like that. So it never made sense to me, never wanted to learn it. I ended up failing it. I would fail math so much that my cousin would randomly hit me up and be like, yo, David, what's 12 times 12? Like, just to be dumb about it. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Ty, real goofy. So, like, it got to a point where I actually was like, yo, 144. You know what I mean? Like, he asked me so many times to the point where I stuck it in my head. And I was like, all right, I dare you ask me another one. I would always have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to that point. But I eventually got good with math, especially going into, like, my senior year because I just started focusing on it. I started getting better, you know what I'm saying? And that's all it was. Like, math is actually easy, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people struggle with that. And for me, I just lacked the ability to really want to learn it. And then, like, along with just not understanding very early on and having some iffy teachers that don't know how to teach you this stuff, it's like that was an issue for me. So I was never good with math early on, but eventually I got good at it. I'm telling you, man. And I'm just pointing out things that, like, created a pattern in my life where I realized I had to fail at something first. Then, like, I realized that I was going to be able to succeed in it as long as I kept at it, right? So another example, I'm gonna give you another one because these just keep popping up. Working at Whole Foods, they was trying to get me to, work the cash register, and I didn't want to because, like I said, I was iffy with math. Still, I was good. I got good at it, but I still wasn't like 100% confident because I never worked the register, didn't know what it entailed, as far as like punching things in and dealing with the numbers and stuff, right? Eventually, I found out it was much easier than I thought. But even in the beginning, still might have messed up a couple times. Somebody might have got an extra $20 out of me every day. I don't know. It might have happened. But eventually I got nice at it. So good at it that I became the team trainer. And I was training people on how to do the cash register and all that. Like, I just learned. It's like you have to be consistent and persistent with just trying to learn something. You know what I mean? Eventually I would end up succeeding at it. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep these things in mind. Like, you're going to have so many examples in life where you'll realize if you keep at something and you really put your best foot forward to learn what it is, you're gonna succeed at some point. There's no way that you're not going to. You guys have to understand that, like, a lot of the things that we want are behind a door that has a latch on it, right? It's not locked to the point where you can't break through it, but it's the fact that you're gonna have to put some effort in to get through to get what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see everything. Like, really picture a room, right? You got a door with a latch on it, the chain latch, right? On top of that, where, like, you can peek through it. You can see everything in there, but you can't open it, right? So you see the success that's behind there. You see the dream job you want. You know what I'm saying? You see everything you want, but it's going to take some effort to get through, right? You got to find a way in. So that's why I look at these things and everything I want, I view it like that because I'm like, all right, it's only a chain lock. I can break through it. But I'm going to have to do some things to break through it, right? So when it comes to, like, these jobs, right? I love touching on this because it's so important. When it comes to work, you see this job, right? So you see this nice job and it has a latch on it, right? You're peeking through and you're like, okay, they pay this much money. These are the people that work here. You see the environment, you know what I'm saying? You see a bunch of things that look appealing to you in this room, right? But you're not in because, they haven't hired you. So what do you have to do? Obviously, you have to apply. But just applying is just like tugging at the door. That's not going to get you all the way in, right? So I always tell people, like, when you go apply at these jobs that you really want, you have to do more than the average person, right? Like what I did with Target. When I first got Target, when I was like much younger, I didn't just apply. My friend actually put me on. He told me what to do. I'm like, I plugged in everything I needed to plug in on the application. I sent it in, right? That very next day, I called them and told them, hey, I put an application in. I'm just checking the status, blah, 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 blah. And they would tell me some information. They'd be like, okay, well, we're going to look at it. We're going to give you a call back. I'm like, all right, bet. I walk in the next day and do the same thing again. This time I'm in person though, right? Like, hey, I put in the application a couple of days ago. I knew you guys were hiring, for a certain position. How's it looking? Blah, 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 blah. Just to get some information. Person's like, oh yeah, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. Took me in. They're like, okay, well, how about this? Like, we're going to set you up with an interview, on this day, whatever. I'm like, bet. I had to apply pressure to get the job, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? The average person is only going to put in the application, kick back, and wait for them to hit you up. Nah, you got to put more. So by me doing much more than that, right? Me going to this place and actually getting familiar with this location that I'm trying to work at, right? Doing my diligence about it and understanding that, like, all right, I need to apply some pressure on them. That was me doing more than just tugging at the door. I was trying to kick that door down. I was almost doing the most. You feel me? You need to almost do the most when it comes to what you want to actually get it. The person who doesn't do the most, the person that doesn't make the offers that they need to make, isn't going to get a sale. You know, like that really reminds me of that. Like there's people who have something for sale and won't put their stuff on Facebook. They won't advertise on Instagram. They won't do this stuff because they got their family and friends on there and they don't want to feel too salesy, right? But you need to feel salesy. You need to do this. This is something you have that you want to offer to the public or whoever because you believe that it has some value to it. So it's not even like you're just pleasing yourself. You're not being selfish. It's just you have something that you can provide people with and you can get something in return from it. You need to be salesy and put it out there. You need to ask people for something because the person who doesn't ask doesn't receive. Straight like that. Doing the bare minimum is not going to get you anywhere. I'll tell you that right now, man. There's so many times in life early on where I was just doing the bare minimum and that's all I got. You just have to believe that you're more than capable, man. Like a lot of people, they just lack the confidence when it comes to certain things, but they don't understand that it's like you can do what anybody else can do. The only reason why the other person is doing something and getting something that you're not is because they're putting in the work. They're not afraid to go out there and put themselves in front of everybody, right? You gotta be like, you gotta get over that little hump of just staying so, you know what I'm saying, so low and in that shell where you don't come outside. Like, man, step outside, go get what you want. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of looking a certain way because you're gonna look a certain way to somebody anyways, and they're gonna move on and judge the next person. Why even pay attention to what people think about you? I don't do that. Like, yo, you gonna judge me today? I'm gonna be cool with it. I'm gonna move on, and then I'm gonna do something else again tomorrow for you to give you another reason to judge me again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do this every day till I get what I want. So something I was like watching a couple days ago, right? And I wish I could remember the name of the dude that actually put this message out there, right? I was watching Social Proof, right? Which is a dope ass podcast. My man, David Shands, man, brilliant dude, right? But he was like reciting this message because it came from somebody else. But he was saying there's people who think they can and there's people who think they can't. And they're both right. And that's like, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's a mentality thing, right? If you wake up in the morning and you feel like you're somebody who can do everything that's on your mind, right? That you feel like you're unstoppable, then guess what? You most likely are. You most likely can get things accomplished. But if you wake up in the morning and you feel like, oh, I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't think I can do that, then you probably can't. Because you're already starting off wrong. Like you're telling yourself and you're spreading that energy that you can't get something done, so you most likely can't. You know what I'm saying? You don't even believe it yourself. How somebody else gonna believe that, right? So you have to wake up in the morning with a better attitude and understand that you're more than capable. And you got to understand that if you're going to do something, put 100% in. All right. If you want to see 100%, you got to put in 100%. That's how it goes. I don't play around with that stuff, man. Energy is a real thing, right? Like with God, I don't bring religion into podcasting, at all. But I do look at it like, yo, and a lot of you guys may for sure agree with me, but it's like, if you really want something, God's going to show you the way, but you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. God's going to open all the doors for you, man. Like I used to never even think and talk like this, but it's like, it's the truth, man. I've been through it many times in life. And I'm like, yo, every time I'm trying to get somewhere, if I put in the effort and I really like bust my ass to try to get something done, yo, all the doors start clicking. Everything starts opening up for me. It just be like that. And I'm not the only person that happens for. A lot of my family members, they explain the same thing the same way. Like, yo, God is going to help you out, but you got to help yourself out first, man. You got to show him that you want it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then you're going to be in the position you in and ain't nothing going to change. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even about God. It's mainly about you. It's about you and where you want to be and how bad you want something. Simple. I'm telling you, man. The only way things like that is going to change is like if you really take the steps forward to change it. You know what I mean? Like during the pandemic, there was two different types of crowds, right? There's a crowd where they're starting to realize that, like, okay, I'm aware that people are dying, and I'm aware that the economy is looking shaky, right? That's one crowd of people, because it comes down to the awareness and the information that you're starting to drive into yourself and into your brain, right? And then you got the other crowd. The other crowd of people during the pandemic was thinking, hold up, there's some opportunities opening up, and there's also a lot of millionaires being created. You feel me? It doesn't mean that either side is lying, because no, that's all facts. Everything about what I just said was facts during the pandemic. But what type of person were you during that time? What crowd was you in? How was you thinking? What type of information was you feeding yourself, right? The people over here that was thinking about the opportunities and all the millionaires, being created during that time, they knew about the information, but they weren't driving the negative information into their brain every day. Nah. Because they already had their eyes set on all the good stuff, the positive stuff that was going on during that time, and they wanted to capitalize, right? So you got to understand, what type of person are you? When things look crazy, how are you viewing things? What type of information are you actually searching for? Make sure you're doing everything you can to get where you need to be. Make sure you're in the right vehicle that's going to drive you to the right destination. You feel me? Come on. Let's get it together. Look, I'm getting up out of here, man. It's a real short one today. I got some stuff to do, but we coming right back to you next week. Make sure you tap in with my Instagram, the check-in_. Go show some love. We're going to be posting up some things up there, giving you guys some updates on what's coming up. We do got some interviews coming up soon, too, so stay locked in for that. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.